Two wheels are better than four. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club.
Welcome to 17 Scooters Podcast. I am Natalie.
I'm Kate, and that's Liv.
I'm Liv, sorry, my microwave's gonna go off in 14 seconds.
Well, I mean, do we want to introduce the topics or
no, what do you got going on?
Okay, Natalie's never introduced a podcast before. Hi, welcome
I'm
to
not.
17 Scooters Club. That's my microwave, and my meal prep. How's everyone's week been?
Busy, but spectacular.
I can't hear your
Lovely.
microwave.
You couldn't hear my microwave?
I know, that was like a lot of build up for nothing.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna keep singing if I don't go and get it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
no, nothing new. What's new with you, Nat?
Nothing. Went to Death Valley and did some shenanigans. Zion zoomed around on the dunes. There was explicit images, footsteps into the dunes.
Not good.
It was fine. It was pretty funny, but
it snowed here today.
You had snow?
Not cool, but yes, it snowed.
Not cool. I think it's cool.
Oh, it was like kind of nice all weekend, and then this morning there was just flakes of snow, and then it snowed. It didn't accumulate, but
how was your deer? Did you eat the deer?
Where's
the head? What did you do with the head of the deer?
The head is sitting in my barn.
Are we gonna hang it up? Are you gonna mount it and hang it?
Skin it and take all the organs out of it. But yes, that's the John department, not me. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, he got a deer and then we hung it. But we have a barn, so you gotta like hang it and gut it and cut it up. But he processes his own meat, so we've been at the butcher. We have been feeling like a butcher shop here, like cutting everything up and vacuum sealing it.
Have you given any to Tony?
Oh yes, he loves it. And the funny thing is, when the deer was hanging, he
looked scared.
He was going up to it and like kind of booping it and like running back.
Oh.
It was gonna, but he's obsessed. When the deer was hanging outside in the barn, unfortunately next to the goats, the poor goats were probably like scarred. But it was hanging there. Tony was inside because we had a cold few nights, so it just stayed there until it got butchered. Tony was just crying at the door, crying like a lunatic because he wanted to go out and like sniff it.
Wanted to go see the deer.
Mm-hmm. And then all the meat's processed now, and John did it like in the basement / kitchen. So now Tony's obsessing over running around
everywhere.
Yeah, he's like so happy frolicking.
Do your chickens like their disco ball?
So that's a good question. I actually kept it.
I was gonna say you didn't put it in there.
I am gonna get them another one to put in, but I put it actually in my front window, and the light comes through and it like refracts everywhere, and it looks so cool. So I decided to keep it. And then John brought up a good point of like, so my chickens will literally eat anything. So if it's too high up, the light won't get it. But if it's too low, the chickens will just eat the sequins off. So we have to figure out how like an appropriate level to hang it for them.
It looked kind of cool, like the way the sun hit it in your house.
I know.
The bar I work at downtown we hung up a disco ball for 70s night, like for Halloween 2 years ago, and we never took it down. And it doesn't like spin. It's not like a working disco ball. It just hangs there, and it's kind of a vibe.
It kind of is a vibe. And you know what I did instead of hanging it? Like I showed you guys, I took the string off, like I tucked it under, and it's just sitting like in that front window. So it doesn't look crazy. It kind of just looks like a decoration, and all the lights like shine off of it. It's so cool. So it's a vibe.
What meal prep did you make?
Yeah, what do you got?
I regret it really bad. I'm chewing on a piece of asparagus, but it's not. I love asparagus tops, but the bottom of asparagus that you have to chew forever and ever and ever, it's like Why did you give that to me? I don't want that. But disco balls really had their moment like a couple years ago. I remember walking around World Market and there would be like disco ball planters, disco ball, like honestly shirts, like disco ball everything.
Well, you know where I got this idea from? You know Anna Sitar?
Yeah.
No.
She has a giant disco ball that she has just sitting in her living room because she has huge windows and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so that's where I first got the idea from, is it just rolls around like the living room.
You gotta be careful because what I'm thinking of, remember when we would burn holes in leaves when we were kids with a magnifying glass?
Yeah. I was
Like
thinking
I think that could probably start a fire.
it might,
Like
and I
if
do have
it's sitting in like on drywall. I don't know how fast drywall like lights up, but it's dry.
Do you remember our strobe light that we used to play with?
I wish I had a strobe light. There's so many times that I wish I still had that yellow strobe light, and we had multiple. We all had a strobe light.
What was that weird
Yeah.
thing that we would do? We would all come in and then
We would
close our eyes
move and
open our mouth
pretend-
and it looked like we were moonwalking.
Kind of.
No, we would
There was a challenge.
we would
though.
see how fast we could run towards the door without hitting
Yes!
the door.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a challenge part of it.
It was
yeah,
like-
the door
yeah.
was shut.
Mm-hmm. And we would run as fast as we could towards the wall without hitting the wall.
I shouldn't have gotten the northern lights in my living room. I should have just gotten a strobe light.
You should have gotten the strobe light. I might
Maybe
get a
I'll
strobe
upgrade.
light. Yeah.
In your
Black
Tiny
Friday,
house.
yeah.
tiny house strobe light. Winston
That
would
would be cool.
look terrifying in it. Like
I
you'd
know.
see him 1 second.
He would freak out.
Yeah.
He would probably try to
But he's
chase
so
it.
cute. Recently though, he's been like it's been cold at night, finally. So he'll come like I'll grab him from my closet, which is the loft, and I'll scurry him down and I'll let him cuddle with me, and then he'll want to get under the blankets, and I'm like, okay, you can get under the blankets. And so he sleeps with on my chest under the blankets with me.
When I came to your old apartment 2 apartments ago, that's what he did in the middle of the night. I was like, "What are you doing?" And he went under the blankets and then wanted to snuggle, and I was like, "Oh my god, so cute!"
Hmm.
Someone here is giving away wildcats. They like rescued Mama and all of them.
Why do I
And-
think wildcats everywhere?
Oh, wildcats. They're like, Mama had like kittens, and then they took Mama and the kittens in, and this is like they live on their road. It's just lots and lots of wildcats. So they bring them to the vet, they get them all set, and then now they're posting online, and they're like, free cats, like kittens.
Aw.
I'm like, oh, I want one so bad.
You should have like 4 in your barn.
Yeah, but if they're in the barn, then I'm gonna want to take them inside, and then Tony's gonna eat them. So, but yes, that's what I
No.
was thinking.
The barn cats.
I know. Well, they're used to living outside, I guess. So I would just be
Exactly.
taking them from one outside to my outside,
You'll never have rat problems.
which I do have. So
Exactly. A cat is like the cutest way to fix it. Plus, if they're not meant to be inside, then it's perfect.
yeah, I want one. They're so cute. There's like a bunch of just like all black cats. I was like, oh,
I want an all black cat. That's so spooky and so perfect.
I know.
I have a bunch of like random updates for my topic this week. So should I start with one?
Yeah, you said
Okay.
one. Go ahead.
The 3-eye atlas.
No, that's my
Is that yours?
topic.
Well,
But go ahead.
okay, basically, I was just so the October 30th, you could correct me, was the first time that you could see it past the sun, right?
Yeah.
And so I was listening to while I was running Joe Rogan podcast, and he had what's his name? A specific guy on there. Well, I'll go into
Sebastian
the
Martin.
No.
Oh,
I wrote it down. I have so much information. He is definitely not from the US. He speaks in Avi Loeb. Aviloeb. So basically, I'll go into the background. So the first time an interstellar object entered our atmosphere.
Mhm.
Do you know of that? Have you
Are you
heard of any
asking?
other ones? Or are you just is this the first one that we've kind of heard of? Because at first this was the first one I've heard
Like
of.
this year?
No,
No,
just
ever.
like the
Or
first
general?
interstellar, like the first object from a different solar system entering our solar system.
No, this is the
Yeah,
first
but
one
like
that I.
making the headlines and stuff.
This is the
Anytime,
first one, I
anyways,
think.
the first time it happened, um, and I find it hard to believe it's the first time it happened, but like the first time it happened that people were calling it a comet
That
was
people care about, I
gonna-
guess.
I'm gonna butcher this. I can't even say the word butcher. Oumuamua. Oumuamua.
This is a French comic.
Let me spell this for you. And
It's meant
okay,
to
I'm
be a
actually gonna
song.
I'm going to
You're
screenshot
supposed
it
to
and
sing
send
it.
it to our group chat, and you're going to tell me how you guys can each try to pronounce this. Basically, it was in October 2017. It's the first known interstellar object coming from outside the solar system to be detected. Loeb and his colleagues pointed out a number of anomalies about it. But basically, this one is a lot more elongated. It was kind of like a flat black pancake. I forget what they call it. They call it one eye.
Oh, this is why this needs 3i.
They
Yeah.
need
Oh,
to
so I
come up
wonder
with
what
fun
2i
names.
is. But
Yeah.
basically, I know the same thing happened, but on a lower scale, because I guess social media wasn't what it is today in 2017. So basically, everyone in the know was like, "Oh my god, there could be things on it," but it wasn't showing as much. And I'll let Katie go into it, but it wasn't showing as like much of the orbit, the acceleration, the perfectly on track like anomalies that this the 3i atlas is showing. Like it started kind of going off track, and I think there was some things where it was going by the sun where it was like some of it is eroding away, and in that case it should be turning because some of it's eroding away, but then since it's not turning, it's staying right on track, and that would be due to gravity. That's what makes everybody think that it is
A comet and not.
hollow. Also, do you know how big they expect this to be?
It's huge. I don't even remember.
The size of Manhattan Island.
Yes.
33 billion tons.
Do they know if? So I obviously have the conspiracy side of it.
Mhm.
Is this gonna hit us? Is this thing gonna crash into us?
If it was going to, they wouldn't tell us.
If it was going to, they wouldn't tell us. That's why I think they're going to be like, well, I didn't gather my thoughts. I have so many thoughts. So I might need you to keep me on track. Basically, they were saying that they expect it to just pass by us, but that like you wouldn't know. And he speaks on this. Loeb. I'm gonna say it differently every time. Loeb. he says basically that. He's like, they're not gonna tell you if it's going to go like hit you, and it's projected to go right past us, but that is so small in the grand scheme of things. Like it's coming from a different solar system straight towards us. Like what's the chance it's going to come straight towards us and not hit us? And also he says that all of these scientists are studying so we don't become the dinosaurs, so like an asteroid doesn't hit us, and like, but they didn't study aliens. Like they studied asteroids, like if a comet is coming towards us, how to deter that, like if rocks are coming towards us, but like to the public knowledge, they didn't study for a spaceship to come and like dive bomb us like they did the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Like okay, somebody else talk. Natalie's laughing and she's making me laugh.
Can I go in? Do you have any more of the science side or Nat or
more science side? I do. I'm just like blanking because I was a dum and didn't write it down. So there's that. There's also, oh, I have a little bit of conspiracy. Basically, they're talking about like the, well, he goes very sciencey, where the Earth is basically a piece of the sun. Like all of the planets are just a piece of the sun, and that's why we rotate around the sun, and that like we chipped away from the sun allegedly. And like back Galileo used to think, he was basically going like, we're all really dumb and really have no idea what's going on, and we only have 100 years to figure it out, and a lot of us are like, I have 28 years on the planet, I'm not going to be like, you're not going to be smart. But basically Galileo was like, oh, I have a feeling that these things aren't rotating around Earth, and people put him on house arrest and didn't say, oh yeah, I think you're right, until 300 years later. So there is that part. And then basically they're talking about how this thing is probably going to be dropping things, and how we don't know. And he connects it a lot with like all of the water aliens, and how there's been like 360 something sightings in California of these things just dropping into the water without a splash, not showing like, what's it called, physics, I guess, like
Gravity.
like the splash, there should be a splash. And then also in Florida, so those two main places, they're showing a lot of these, and I have to find it. I also have a picture of the atlas of like through his telescope. It literally looks like a star. Like you could tell me anything was a 3i atlas and I'd believe you. But basically they're saying that it would go very undetected, that even if it passes by us and we're like, phew, that was a close one. And they drop a bunch of shit into the water, like these water aliens. I have to dive deeper on that part because I was just catching up on the 3i atlas, but he really connects it to the water aliens, which is kind of crazy. And he says that something like where the government's kind of denying all the water aliens right now.
Well, yeah, we knew about that.
Yeah, we did.
Was this
Unfortunately,
on Joe Rogan's podcast? What he was talking about?
he did his own studies, and then like Joe Rogan was like, hey, I want you to share your findings on the podcast. So he has them all separate, but it is on one of Joe Rogan's podcasts as well.
Okay.
So it's not Joe Rogan saying this. It's like
the guy he interviewed.
science. I'm like losing his name as the further and further I go.
Mr. L.
I just see Zion's tail.
That is that. I'm sure things are gonna pop up along the way. But Katie, you share your part on this.
Okay, so it's interesting that you mentioned the water aliens, because I did not come across the water aliens. Obviously, I know about them. We've talked about them many times, but the water aliens did not come up in my research. So I'm tying together, which is very interesting that this all. I'm
going to dive a little bit into mine about see if I wrote anything else down about the water aliens.
Okay. But, as I'm going, see if that reminds you of anything. So it's interesting that mine ties together these three kind of topics that we've already talked about, because I had no intention of doing this. So number one, have you guys heard, or take a guess, what is a star seed? Like if a person is a star seed.
Okay, I've heard that this is derogatory.
Oh, I did not hear that.
It's like not a baby witch. It's something. It's like a pure blood type of deal, and that's why it is like an alien. I don't know.
Yeah,
something of being like pure, and it's like derogatory in the witchy community. And I only learned that on Two Girls, One Ghost. Yeah.
That makes sense that I did not know what it was.
So in this term, star seeds, they're thought to be a person whose soul kind of originated from another planet. Maybe you're talking about kind of psychics, like in my dreams when we're talking about dreaming and going to different dimensions, someone who has that ability, someone who's really connected to the star system, and they really want to help raise like human consciousness. They want to guide spiritual evolution. So really what I'm thinking is like, number one, if you can like lucid dream and like you're connected with the stars and this and that. So when they're talking about star seeds, that's what they're talking about. So it ties together the idea of that, the reptiles, the Justin Bieber reptiles. And
we talked about the reptiles a lot.
Yes, the reptiles and Liv Monroe Institute remote viewing. Okay. So 3i Atlas is coming. As Liv kind of prefaced this conversation, is that people are saying, is it aliens? Is it a spaceship? Is it a rock? Is it a comet? We don't know. You would think if it was going past the sun and it was falling apart, the aliens would steer clear. They might make a turn, but maybe not. Who knows? They have places to go. So there's this guy, and this is why I asked if this was your guy's name. So his name is Sebastian Martin, and he's known for being a remote viewer or an astral projector. So he, and I'll go in at the very end, I have some of his most famous work. But he recently decided he wanted to go remote view / astral project to go look at Atlas in the sky. He wanted to know what Atlas was doing. He wanted to know about the vibes.
So like
Yep.
lucid dreaming, but astral projection, but like going to the physical place.
So in researching this, because multiple people, there's so many accounts, I didn't write down their names, but like 4 or 5 people just in this like hour that I was looking this up had come across claiming that they were astral projectors and remote viewers, and they were kind of going into what that means, how that works for them, and that they've gone and they've seen the Atlas. They've seen the Atlas. But how they're describing it, it's not like how you and I would picture it, allegedly. It's not like we're floating in the sky, we're astronauts, and we're looking at the Atlas fly by. It's more of like a feeling, I guess. So it's exactly what we're talking about, like lucid dreaming, projecting, remote viewing, but you get a feeling for it. You can kind of explore around it, but it's more in like colors, feelings, shapes, and it kind of gives you a quote unquote a vibe. So this guy went and he was really working on it. So that was his first, I guess, experience. He's gone back and forth many, many times. Sebastian, because he's an expert remote viewer, and he reported back that we have lots of things to think about. So basically, he was saying that he brought his consciousness to 3i Atlas, and he wanted to go ahead and explore. He really likes remote viewing, blah blah blah. So let's see where he comes in. So he claims that he went up there and that, number one, the occupants of the ship, he thinks 3i Atlas is like a spaceship, that they're all reptilian in nature. Not necessarily looking like reptiles, maybe sometimes, but he claims that they're like, they have a reptilian nature. And they are on a mission. They are not coming here, as Liv described, like, oops, we just are flying too close to the Earth. They're coming here, and they are going to come and stop and hover and crash or do whatever it is they're going to do. Yep.
I will say they did that scientifically. He says, Loeb says, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, it goes right past its path as well. That's not a coincidence. It's not only Earth, but it's Venus,
so
Mars, and Jupiter as well.
Like a bus route.
Yeah, it's like a bus route. So they're headed for
Who's
us.
hopping on?
They're reptilian, and they are specifically coming for the star seeds. So those of us who might be defined as a star seed, and as Liv pointed out, not the witches, but the star seeds. So common traits that a star seed, if you are one, might have. You might have a strong feeling or a sense of not belonging. You might feel different. You might have a deep interest in spirituality, extraterrestrial, life, higher consciousness. You might feel very intuitive. You might feel like you're an empath, strong desire to help others, to heal the planet. So basically, like, remember those people, I keep bringing this back, those like pods that you talked about, and that was their whole thing. They're like, don't wake me up because I'm not ready to be woken up because I need to save the Earth.
Yeah.
They would
basically they're like, if humans don't save the Earth, we're gonna send people to destroy it. Like, we will come and destroy it. It wasn't like we're gonna send people, but.
So that's basically what he's saying. He's saying that the star seeds are like very special to Earth, and the reptilian 3i Atlas aliens are coming. And the star seeds are described as like these alien human hybrids, or like the quote unquote chosen ones. So it's like us, but like having these, like, wanting to save the Earth, but also spiritual and empathetic and whatever.
I'm going to share something about this.
Go ahead.
I've always had like a deep fear of aliens, and that being out in the open, like if I'm out by Natalie or if I'm driving home at 3 a.m. I'm not scared of like murderers. I'm not really scared of ghosts. I'm scared of being abducted by aliens because I feel like in my soul, like they're coming for me.
Well, I might
I
describe
feel
you
like
as
both of
You kind of have described me. Like I'm very spiritual, but I'm not very like God spiritual.
intuitive,
But I am.
empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like both
Okay.
of you are very witchy
What would my cat
alien,
think?
like ghosty
Yeah,
vibes.
but like I don't want that. Like I don't want a single thing to do with aliens. I don't really consume alien like stuff because it freaks me out. Like I don't know.
Well, they're coming.
They're
So
coming.
basically, okay, where am I? Yeah, so they're reptilian and they're coming for the star seeds. We don't know. Are they coming to take the star seeds with them on their ship, or have they come to communicate with the star seeds and be like, yo, you have not saved the planet yet, and now we had to drive our ship down here. And come on, you're supposed to be like one of us. You're supposed to like be, so like, have they come to talk to us? Have they come to abduct us?
They load them up, hover for a while, blow up the planet, and then put us back down.
Do only the star
That's what they
seeds
said they were
survive.
going to do. Yeah, drop the star seeds again, start over.
Yes. So then we become
Like,
an alien planet.
Elon,
instead of a
get out of
human
here.
planet.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting for sure.
Yeah, basically their mission is to come to Earth for the star seeds. There's also, and I didn't look up this part, and then I'll end with going into a little bit about who this guy is, Mr. Martin, who everyone is obsessed with. There's something called the Hadron Collider. Now, do you know what that is?
The Hadron Collider.
Yes. That's somehow in here. They think the Hadron Collider, I don't know if the aliens are gonna use it. I don't know.
It sounds like Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah. That was just mentioned. Okay, so all of this, lucky for all of us, is going to be happening by December 19th. That's what Martin has predicted. So Sebastian Martin says, yeah, in essentially a month, we could be knowing what's happening.
I thought it wasn't until like 2027 that it's going to pass us.
Well, maybe not pass, but December. Because remember when I first covered the topic, it was like, oh, October, November, it's going to be within our solar system. Mm-hmm. Now he's saying that in December, we're going to be closer. I guess it's going to be close to us and could affect the star seeds. I think
it was 2027 it was projected to, unless it speeds up, like in our solar system.
It might. And something interesting, and I'll send this to you guys afterwards. There was numerous videos of people claiming, and again, that's on TikTok, but numerous people claiming that they had gone and they've astral projected up to 3i Atlas. And it's interesting because some of their descriptions were similar, but then some of them were different. Like one guy said that he went up there and he really couldn't get a good view on it because it was just moving so fast. One lady went up and she also was having some trouble like viewing it, and then she saw like this blue tribal reptilian looking person, and that she felt like this overwhelming like fear of sadness or like shock, and she started crying. So all this stuff. So basically, Sebastian Martin is like rocking everyone's world, pun intended. But he is a Canadian guy, and he like specializes in remote viewing. He did some crazy remote viewing in like 2011, and now he's like some renowned remote viewer. He has done a lot of like side quest things with like health food brands, blah, 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 blah. But he claims in 2011, he had like a come to Jesus moment, and he had a close encounter with the fifth kind, and that triggered the Kundalini awakening.
Oh.
And I think we might have talked about that briefly at some point.
We talked about the Anunnaki, but not
the Kundalini. Yeah, so basically he had like this come to Jesus moment. So now he's obsessed with 3i Atlas. So there's a video, which I didn't watch, but if anyone wants to watch it, it's on YouTube. It's called 3i Atlas Draco Mothership. So he has this whole video where he thinks, or he states that through remote viewing, he perceived Three Eye Atlas not as a comet or an asteroid, but as a massive mothership that has millions of. He says that they're dormant Draco soldiers, and when he's saying Draco, he's saying like reptilian.
I'm
He
not made
claimed
for a world like this. Like, just get rid of me.
I think it's a big rock.
Yeah, drop me on the way down if you're gonna abduct me, please.
he claims that the insiders on the CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, have provided testimony that the portal has been opened for non-human intelligences. So they're like, okay, yeah, like the aliens can come. He declares that the aboard the craft, they're reptilian. Yes, we talked about that, and that they're coming to Earth or they're activating. So they might be in like a little pod, similar thing to what Liv talked about in her other episode.
Like that movie. What's it called?
Yeah, they're like up in space.
With Chris Pratt.
Yes. Okay, so maybe he's just really into movies.
I think it's called Interstellar.
Yeah, basically. And they think December 19th is a pivotal date for full motion of activity. So whether that means they're able to make contact, whether they're waking up from their pods, whether they're, I don't know, because they're dormant right now. And yeah, basically that's all we know. So
okay, just a few things. Like,
crazy.
The US government is not going to let it get to like shadowing the earth
with the reptiles coming down.
Or like any government, they're not going to let it get that close without making contact with it first or like trying to blow it up. Also, I remember sporadic things are coming to my brain. So sorry. There was a change in drone protocol where like used to be drones you weren't allowed to shoot down for any reason and all of that, but recently protocol has been changed to like you're allowed to shoot them down. There was a lot more specifics. There is that. But also Loeb was basically saying like there was a famous thing in history, it doesn't matter what it was, and they basically were like, this isn't gonna happen, so why would we prepare for it to happen? Basically like us saying this is aliens. And he did say that statistics say it's probably a rock, but if we prepare for it to be a rock and it's aliens, then we're all gonna die. Or like, you know, if we prepare for it to be a rock and we don't prepare for that very little like
chance,
maybe, then like, and like the maybes have happened before, so it's like we should prepare for the maybes. And basically he's saying that rock scientists are going in and being like, I wrote it down because I liked his quote. This is a quote that he said. Compared a zebra specialist going to the zoo and seeing an elephant and saying that the elephant is just a fat zebra with no stripes. That's how he's saying these people are comparing the Atlas to a comet. And they're like, oh yeah, it's just like a comet that like does this instead of that and this instead of that. And he's like, well, it doesn't, that's not a comet then, you know? So I think that's everything.
Well, that's just science in general though. Like nothing specifically. I feel like a lot of rules are broken because we have a very loose understanding of a lot, and like science is like a man-made thing to describe what's around us.
We only have like 100 years, so it's like
aliens could be science though. It's just like Liv said, we just haven't.
Well, they would be, but I think with this AI thing where the I guess speculation of it being like an alien mothership took place is because of, I guess, the specific rules that it didn't follow, because they're like, oh yeah, it's a comet, but it has those mysterious, I guess, behaviors, as you would say. I guess they looked at it with, I don't know where it's like the James Webb something space telescope. I don't know where it's located, but they started using it's like spectrographic and photometric data into like some AI powered like pattern recognizing system. And then they just I think they were looking at like its composition, outgassing patterns, and anomalies in its trajectory. And that's when like the whole like, oh, it could be a spaceship kind of came up, because it had very, I guess, interesting things. I guess instead of like its anticipated gradual sublimation of like ice and dust, it had what they described as, I forget what it was, like a threshold. Yes, threshold activation behavior. And then So basically, when it gets close to particular solar distance and temperature, output from specific gases and particulates rise like exceptionally high. Sorry, Zion's barking. In in a non-linear fashion. So it's basically just not.
It's
I
not
can't
a
even
normal
say.
rock. Is what
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
hearing.
not normal.
Yeah.
And then
However,
not
Oh,
only
and then I saw it showed properties of being hollow. That's
well, yeah, it
interesting.
also I guess it melts more when it gets warmer, but suddenly something flipped and like the behavior altered. Is what they kind of figured.
reptiles are in there fixing it
What?
Okay.
because the reptiles are in there fixing it when it melts.
Mm.
Also,
Could
wait,
be.
Shh, shh,
I had
Well,
a
things
thought.
out of nowhere.
I had a
and
thought from
oh yeah,
when
sorry,
you
go
were
ahead.
talking before
Okay.
we get to you. It's when Liv, when you were talking about there's a difference in the drones.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that relates back to the Dior handbags? Like, were they sending little drones down from the spaceship?
Oh,
And that was why there was an uptick in them. And then they're like, oh, we'll find out. But anyway, you had said something.
maybe. I find it hard to believe that they're going to send a mothership without checking it out first. Like maybe the mothership is checking it out, but I would think that they would send smaller things first to check it out. Yeah, like little things to be like, oh, can we even breathe in this atmosphere? Do we know what's going on? What if this thing lands and it's just like our doppelgangers? Like just other versions of us, like figuring it out from another solar system. Just like
That would
Freaky
be
Friday.
so many people fit into Manhattan Island.
Okay, also, I heard a conspiracy theory. This is really random, and it's just going to be a sentence that China's lying about their census. That and this was a Chinese woman
That would
on
not surprise
Instagram.
me.
No, and because they said that they have all these people, they're so overpopulated, so many people, they can't handle it. But they've been on this like limitation of the amount of kids people could have for so long, and that the population is actually like 1/5 of what they're saying. And that's just random. I haven't dug any deeper into it, but that was one of my random things, and it fit there perfectly. But can you just imagine walking outside on the day it's supposed to be over and like there being no sun? Be like it's almost like a, what's it called when
Lunar
the
eclipse?
moon passes?
Well, it would be a solar
Yeah,
eclipse
like
if the sun is
it
being
was to be a
covered.
solar
But yeah,
eclipse. It would be like an eclipse with this thing, and that sounds like so scary. Everyone up's like looking up at it, like it just, I'm getting like an ominous picture.
War of the Worlds. When
I think that's what I'm picturing.
no, Johnny, no, gear up.
Yeah. Nat, did you have anything else? Sorry, I cut you off before, but basically you're saying that it was
Well,
essentially a weird rock and it's acting weird, and that's where the
well,
spectrum
also,
is
if it's
from.
coming from a different solar system, there's going to be things that differ from what we can kind of like understand as normal. I guess they're saying there's a radically different chemistry than what we would see in ours. So like low metallicity or high radiation history, which is very different than ours. And then the CO2 to H2O gas ratios are beyond the ordinary for our solar system, like comets that we would see here, which is an indicator of something out of the ordinary, but it's also from a different solar system. So there's no ordinary that we would see. So then I think people ran with that and were like, oh my gosh, it could be an alien ship.
We don't
But
know.
I think
Maybe
it's,
your rocks are just different.
well, they would be. And it's just something that
Yeah.
would be different for us. And we would eventually just be like, oh, it was just a big rock that was different than what we would see. But yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know.
All right.
On December
What's
19th,
your topic, Natalie?
My topic is kind of related, but like way back in time, kind of.
Okay. Like Ice
so-
Age?
No, it's a mysterious I mean, well, it connects to my boy Nikola Tesla, I will say. But it's a mysterious or a mystery that's orbiting our planet. Have you ever heard of the Black Knight satellite?
no.
Wait. Okay. I don't know if, I swear they were talking, they just hit everything. Was that a disaster?
No, nothing disastrous of it
Okay.
has come.
Then no,
Well,
I haven't heard
so
of it.
some say it's a satellite orbiting the Earth that's not ours, like watching, waiting, like hidden in the near polar loop for thousands of years, or like a relic of ancient civilizations, or it's just a lost thermal blanket drifting in space. So I'll get into like why this object is such a mystery, from Nikola Tesla's experiments in 1899 through the Cold War era and photographs from the STS-88 mission in 1998. But at the beginning, so this isn't specifically connected to it at the time, but it starts 1899. Tesla was conducting his radio experiments at Colorado Springs, and he reported picking up signals he interpreted as coming from far away, even like Mars. Some believers link those to this Black Knight satellite history or the story. So he was just getting weird signals that he was picking up. So then fast forward a couple of decades to the 1920s and 30s, a Norwegian engineer, Jorgen Hals, recorded what are known as long delayed echoes in his radio transmissions, which were signals returning many seconds or even minutes later than they should. And some see that as possible eavesdropping of an orbiting monitor, but people connected to thinking maybe there's something in orbit bouncing these signals back to us. And then in 1954, retired U.S. Marine major and the UFO researcher Donald Keyhole claimed that the U.S. Air Force had detected 2 satellites orbiting Earth at a time when no country had launched one, and newspapers reported it, and then some considered it to be the first explicit mention of like the idea of satellites. So then newspapers pick
I
it
was
up.
just gonna say, thinking of like, sorry to interrupt, but like
That's okay.
Nikola Tesla, like thinking about him at the same time as a satellite, I was a little confused. I'm like, they're just trying to figure out what, like, power without power lines, and now like you have a satellite, like that didn't go hand in hand. So that makes
No,
sense. Why
it
would they have a
wasn't
satellite?
at the time.
Okay.
But people just
Okay.
connected the story back to that, where they're like, oh, maybe this is what he was picking up.
Oh,
But anyway, like
okay.
in the 50s, newspapers pick it up. The story starts to take shape from Tesla's signals to the radio echoes. And people are like, oh my gosh, it's a Cold War spy satellite, and all of it stitched together into like the theory of the Black Knight satellite. Which I think the whole, I guess, detection, or this guy that said, oh, there's 2 satellites orbiting Earth. I think it was like Cold War, whatever, propaganda.
What?
But anyway,
Yeah, what
I have
year?
something too.
that was in
What year?
1954.
But
54.
then originally, where Tesla was talking about it was when?
1899.
Okay, so do you know how one of my conspiracies last year was like Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl with the Jets? And
Yeah.
so Taylor Swift's Google search, when you searched Taylor Swift jet fuel, because she was getting so much like shit about it, would come up to her at the Super Bowl instead of her on a plane.
Mhm.
The Black Knight, when you started talking about that, I was thinking about the movie, but I'm like, what if people
Dark
were
Knight.
just like, because you, oh,
That's
never mind.
oh,
I was so close. I'm like, they're like, the government's just trying to distract us by Hollywood, but never mind. Wait, it was
okay.
called the Black Knight. Isn't that
The
I
Black
don't know,
Knight
maybe it's
satellite,
Cherryville.
and then the movie is the Dark
Black
Knight.
Knight Cell.
That's
Movies and Dark Knight.
Batman.
Okay.
That's Batman.
Yeah,
Not
that's what I thought. Thought they were using Batman.
okay. So a
Conspiracy denied.
big jump to 1998. On the mission STS-88, a photograph was taken by the shuttle ISS crew showing a black, oddly shaped object floating near Earth. And then to conspiracy forums, it became like, they're like, this is it. This is the satellite. It got it. And then space agencies identified the object as catalog number 025570, which was understood to be a stray thermal blanket lost during an EVA. And the astronauts themselves reported that the cover had flown away, but still the internet did what it did, took it and ran with it, and the legend exploded into the Black Knight satellite. So then looking into like the actual, I guess, details of it, the first being the orbit. The Black Knight is claimed to be in a near polar orbit, meaning it passes over both poles, which is very rare for early satellites, and modern trackers haven't cataloged such a long-term stable object of unknown origin. And then people are claiming it has been orbiting Earth for 13,000 years, which I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know where that number came from. I couldn't find it. It was kind of an arbitrary number, which that just does not go with our solar system because it would have decayed already. Especially like satellites in low Earth orbit degrade, burn up, or they get perturbed. And then a truly stable orbit over that time period is just like impossible. And then the radio signals, I guess the early what they call evidence in Tesla signals, long and the long delayed echoes can be explained through either terrestrial interference, pulsars, ionospheric reflections. Yeah. So people are just like, guys, it's not really a satellite, it's just a blanket. So
I
yeah,
think it's a satellite.
a 13,000. Well, I don't know why they're saying it's 13,000 years. I think it kind of just came up with the story, but
I think Nikola Tesla is up to no good, as we know.
he was not up to no
Right.
good. He was just doing his radio signals.
He was up
No,
to secret.
I think Nikola Tesla. Wait, yeah, because okay, who came up with the wireless? It was Tesla, right? Where like Einstein created the light bulb, was like, oh, we could track all of your money with these power lines. Here we go. But then Nikola Tesla figured out how to get free electricity to everybody. Correct? Somebody did. I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
I think Matt talked about this, right?
Yeah,
Which one?
probably.
Something
like
about Nikola Tesla with the electric.
Nikola Tesla figured out how to
the
get electricity to everybody. Yeah.
I thought you were
But
talking about
then,
wireless communication. That guy was like Macaroni or something. I think it was his name.
No, we're talking about Tesla.
Oh,
Elbow macaroni. But I was saying that like I'm pretty sure Einstein figured out wired electricity, and that's why they went with Einstein, because if you had wires, you could charge people. And then wireless, I think of Tesla when I think of wireless,
yeah,
right?
I think
And
so.
then so he figured out wireless electricity. I could be wrong on the people, but the same
It's-
story. And they're
it
like,
would
we
be
don't want that
wireless.
because we can't charge you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Tesla was kind of out for himself, and yes, he was discovering things, but it wouldn't put it past me, or I wouldn't put it past him or me. I don't know. I think he was onto something with the
his
satellite, whether it's like
Warncliffe Tower, like the Tesla Tower,
Oh.
like wireless
what?
transmission.
Yeah. So he was in with the transmission. He was in with the towers. It wouldn't surprise me that he knew something about the satellites, whether they're like true satellites by definition or right.
Yeah, the aliens
I don't
definitely
know what's up there.
would want him gone if he was still alive.
Do
I
you
think
that Tesla knew about aliens?
maybe.
I don't
Was
know.
he a starseed?
So I heard something about why the government's sharing alien stuff.
Why?
And so basically, I might butcher this like everything I've been saying today. It became privatized. Natalie might be, because she's very obsessed with government things like this. She might know a little bit more, but basically, first when crashed alien things became part of like Area 51, part of the government, they started doing this, but then over time, as like it's been probably over 100 years since we've had crashed like things on site, people would leave, and then they would have this technology. People outside the government would have these technologies. So then these outside companies, private companies, would start rebuilding things that they found in these alien technologies. And then they would start selling them, and then slowly the government kind of lost control of this stuff because they're all privatized now. And so now the government is releasing all of these to kind of gain control again over this technology.
Maybe I haven't heard of that.
Do you think they've been holding them hostage, or not hostage, but like dormant, or they're just releasing these? Like when you say releasing, they're releasing information, or do you think the government is planting the aliens?
No, it's like how they're releasing information about it. Like, because I was talking to somebody and was like, oh, I think it's I think they're just releasing it because AI exists. So now you could just say, "Oh, that's AI." You know, like what's the point in keeping it secret when you could just blame it on AI? And then they're like, they came back with this stuff, but they're very big conspiracy theorists as well. So
Get them on the
it's
show.
hard to tell. Hard to actually. Okay, it's my coworker at the bar, and I don't
What's
think
fun?
like he started talking conspiracy. His name's Ralph. Shout out Ralph. But basically, I don't think he knew I was as big as a like. I don't think he knows we have a conspiracy podcast. So he was like, "Have you heard of the Three Eye Atlas?" And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe a little bit. And I'm like, what about it specifically? And then yeah, and then he brought that up and I'm like, I don't know. That's a good interesting thought. But
I'd be
probably get
curious
him on
if
the
you ask
podcast.
him more about that. Like you'd be like, so I do have a podcast. Can you?
Yeah.
tell me
It felt awkward in the moment to be like, actually, I'm sort of
Actually, I'm an expert.
Actually,
I'm an Atlas freak.
I deep dive conspiracy theories a lot of my time. Nelly, does your guest have anything to say about anything we've said?
Any good conspiracy?
Probably, but we can do that as another episode. Unless do you want to add info?
Well, I'm like, is there anything on his mind about it?
What does he think about the aliens?
How dumb
Atlas.
we are?
What do you think about aliens?
Do you think the aliens are on Atlas? Are they coming?
Katie, shut up. I can't hear our guest.
He said it is in his best interest to not comment.
Okay, that's what I felt as well. All right, well, bye. You've been vetoed. I think I can kick Natalie out since I'm the host. Oh, I can. It says remove.
Kick me out because it's almost midnight. I have to go to bed.
All right, well, guys, thank you for watching. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any information or theories to yourself, like, please comment them below. Watch us on YouTube if you're not watching. You're missing a lot today. You're really missing a lot. Yeah, if you have any stories, email us at 17scootersclub@gmail.com. Find us on TikTok and Instagram, not Facebook. Sorry, we're not geriatric yet. At 17 Scooters Club. And yeah, scoot.
Bye.
Bye.
Katie always leaves the
2 wheels are better than 4. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club.